doTERRA. I'm super excited because I'm on with two of our incredible Founder 2.0s, and I just want to introduce them really quickly. So we have Heather Reed on, and we are actually spanning both coasts today. We have Heather from New York, and we've got Karissa from California, and welcome. And we're glad all of you are joining. So in the comments, tell us where you're from. We want to know. I mean, you've got to be somewhere between those two, between New York and California. We want to know how many areas are we reaching today as we come together virtually. Virtual has some really great things about it, and that is that we can be anywhere and be together. So we're here. I'm joining from Utah, from doTERRA's corporate headquarters. My name's Sarah Marie, and I am the general manager of the US. And like I said, Heather is one of our new Founder 2.0s, and so is Karissa. And both of them really got going building their business this year. So we're excited to bust some myths around Founders 2.0 because we have an incredible opportunity in front of all of our wellness advocates and even a lot of people who really haven't even joined yet who will still be able to take advantage of this opportunity. Okay, so I see lots of people. We've got Chicago, Minnesota, Ohio, West Virginia, Iowa, South Carolina, Pennsylvania. This is so awesome. Welcome, Michigan. And we've even got Canada, New York. Okay, you guys, this is so fun. It's so fun to see all of you on.
Kauai.
And if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat along the way for these amazing, brilliant ladies. They have incredible drive and passion, and they just love serving people. They show up in huge ways. And it's really, really fun to hear their stories. So we're going to get into their stories in a minute. But while everyone is jumping on and telling us where you're from, I want to start out with this one question. So Founders 2.0 has 200 spots. So a lot of times we hear, will it just go to the 200 people who have been in doTERRA the longest? Will it go to the 200 people who are the highest ranks in the US? The US is $1 billion business just on its own. So doTERRA is a huge company. But in this market, we have significant amounts of customers. So do we already know who those 200 people will be is always the question. And I always say no. So Heather, will you tell us where you were when you started out?
When I started out with Founders, so I've actually been with doTERRA for about 5.5 years, dating back to when I was first a customer. And then it was probably just like 6-ish months later that I decided to do it as a business. So I have been doing it as a business for about 5 years, but I will tell you that it's almost irrelevant to my founder's story. Like I started in college, okay? So you can imagine doTERRA's seen me through many different seasons, college, that weird post-grad, and like, what am I doing? All the way through several different side jobs and different things, all the way to meeting my now husband, engagement, marriage, and a baby, okay? So with that said, I guess my point is that it's not just been that I've been all in doTERRA full time for 5 years and that's what got me to Founders. That's really not my story. It's I kind of kicked it into high gear with doTERRA just honestly like a year ago, like full time. I dropped all my other like side things I was doing to go all in, and that was before Founders was announced. So I did already have like that kind of mindset of ready to go, but it really, I mean, it really didn't have to do with the length of me being in it. It was when I decided we're going to do this. Like, we're really going to do this. So on your note about, who are the people going to be? We don't know. And it's seriously, I mean, it's a lot of work, you guys, but it's just a decision if you're going to go all the way. And I think, Chris and I have been experiencing so much love from the doTERRA community, and just like, how did you do it? Tell us everything. You're amazing. And like, we love that. You guys are like so sweet. But honestly, you guys, me and Chris are the little guys. Like, yeah. We're the little guys. Yeah. I was just in Utah celebrating with some of you guys, last week? I think that was just a week ago. And I, got to spend some time with Emily Wright, and she, we were sitting at lunch together, and she was like, before you hit Founders, I didn't even ever hear your name. That's what she said to me. So, and I was like, yeah, isn't that great though? Like it's like, it's giving everybody, it's just leveling the playing field so much and giving every last person a chance. So if you think we have some like in with like someone or something got us there, it's just not the case.
Love that. Karissa, anything that as you decided to go for founder, were you already prepped and ready? Were you
Oh my
on
gosh,
a
no.
massive train?
Was I okay, like Heather, last year was the first year that I was just ready to go full throttle, just change my life. I was in a really, really, really hard place financially. Like, I mean, really hard. And I was at this crossroad where I had quit my job to do this, and I wasn't making the money that I was hoping that I was going to make. And so it was January of last year that I finally was like, okay, which is, I mean, barely a year ago, right? It's so crazy to think back. Where I said, okay, like it's time. I need to do something. And so that's when I started implementing just structure and in treating this like it was a 9 to 5, right? Like I was treating it like I was my corporate job. It was serious, maybe more though. But I think this is everything. And I finally had my mindset in the right place. My vision, I saw it, I manifested it, I visualized it. Like my head changed. And it's not always easy, to do that. Like I think it's not easy at all, actually. Sometimes we get stuck in our own rut of lies of like, I'm doing all the things, I'm trying, but I am doing this and I am doing that, and it's just not working out, and we give up so easy and we get discouraged so easy. And as soon as you're able to release that and just know your why, and I know we say that and I hope it doesn't sound too like generic, but know your why and like truly understand what these big goals, whatever your goal is, this big goal, what that's going to mean to you. And if you achieve that, what does your life look like? What is going to drive you there? And when you see that and visualize it and know, it just, when you have those moments of hardship or discouragement, you hang on to that and it pushes you through. So my mindset was in a really good place, a really, really good place last year of like, I don't care who tells me I can't, because trust and believe when you're going for something really big, you're going to have adversity, guys. Like it's just life. It's what happens. And you have to also be able to push through that. And hard things will happen. And I think that just honestly getting through it makes you stronger, but having your mind in the right place and pushing forward, like you can accomplish whatever the heck you want. And so I was excited to share with all the people who thought that I couldn't do it and thought I was crazy and thought that my goals were wild. I'm like, no, 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 you don't understand. You can do anything you want to do. Like, what do you want to do? Make it happen. No excuses. Let's go, And so that's where my head was, if that helps anyone last year. And it still is. And it's really rad. I hope that the people on this call understand truly that there is so much opportunity in front of you. And truly, if you haven't even gotten started yet, like this could be yours for the taking. Like, and I don't know how else we can say this and share this of like, you are good enough. You are ready. It is the right time. And if you want it, you will get it. There's 195 spots. Like, it's crazy.
Okay, so Karissa, you were a premier last January, right?
Sarah Marie, was I a premier? I mean, I hit it once from BOGOs. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, I was recognized at premier, but no, guys, I was barely hitting elite. Like, barely hitting elite. That's where I was last year.
Okay, so for you, what switched it was you went all in.
Yeah.
You changed your mindset.
Yeah.
Heather, what was the turning point for you when you decided, okay, I'm going to go for founders?
My story, I've shared this a few times, but my story is kind of interesting because, like I said, and Chris has a similar story in that we kind of got in our own heads before founders was even a thing. And I will also say that was pre the world, pandemic. So it's just kind of interesting the way things aligned. But for me, I was actually a year ago now, I was in my third trimester of my first pregnancy. And so for me, I was like, I had always started doTERRA with this long term, like futuristic is one of my top strengths. And so like, even as a college student, when I started this, I was like, well, I want to build this I knew it wasn't get rich quick, and I didn't care for that. I wanted it for the long term, and I always knew I wanted to have a bunch of kids and be able to do something with some freedom and be from home. And so I'd always had that vision, and it really kind of hit me my whole pregnancy, but just different things in life, like the way it aligned. It was just about a year ago, last January, start of the new year, and I was like, okay, I'm in my third trimester. I'm never not gonna have kids again. Like I was like, these are my last couple months without a child outside of the womb, and so I was like, I don't want to let even these couple months go by, like take it for granted. So I really like looked at what I could streamline and like maximize my time. Maximize is my number one. So I was like, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it for the purpose of my family and my future children, I was like, I gotta kick it into gear. I mean, and rank wise too, and as you guys are asking, I was, I was like gold, you know, sometimes silver, but mostly gold. And that was great, but very just like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Those of you who do the business, kind of like just like a baby gold though. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I could walk away and just like I was rolling in it, you know what I mean? So I wanted to really take it to the next level where I could take some time to step away, and be fully supported by my business. So with all of that said, I started that stuff in about a year ago, and it just so happened to work beautifully into Founders. When Founders was announced, I was like, I felt it in my soul and was just like, this is it. This is the stuff you work now to reap later. And it just enhanced the vision I kind of already had.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so one thing I was hearing as both of you just shared is that maybe it really like your momentum and when you decided to go all in. And in a second, I'm seeing in the comments a lot of people want to know what are those activities you did that really pushed you to founder? What does it look like to build the business? But when you guys decided you were going to go all in, it didn't just happen immediately, but you guys were moving in this direction when Founders was announced, which is why you hit so fast. So I'm going to call this out as a myth, and people think that it's normal to hit Founder in 6 months. So remember, we have 200 Founder spots, and we have 5 Founders that hit in 7 months. That, you guys, these are the rock stars. Like these two ladies were already moving in that direction when Founders launched, and so it was the perfect catalyst to keep them going. It was the perfect opportunity, that preparation, and they cruised fast. 6 months is very doable if you are all in and you're doing the activities they're going to share with you in just a minute. But you don't have to feel like if you haven't hit Founders already and you might be interested in working towards it, maybe you have 10 points that you're not going to make it there, because those 195 spots that are still going to get to be a part of this bonus pool. So Founders is this awesome opportunity to be in a pool that is 2% of the profit from the next billion in growth. So it's really exciting, really awesome. So now maybe Karissa, will you tell us what your day-to-day looks like? I guess, did you get to Founders by yourself? Like, are these all things you did alone? Are these things you're doing with your team? What does it look like?
Oh gosh, it's so like there's so many moving parts to this, right? I want to be super honest because there's a big myth that I hear a lot. I think Heather, you probably hear this one too, is people say, I want to go for Founders, but I don't have a team. Do you get that, Heather? I don't have a team. I don't have my leaders. Like, and it's this big, I hope that everybody hears me. I did not have a solid team when I started going for this. Like, they were coming and I had customers and shares, but please, yeah. And I see a comment here, like, how did you find your builders? Guys, sorry, I'm going kind of all over the place, but I feel like this is important. Can I keep talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like your customers, you guys, our customers are so important. Teaching, educating, loving on our people is so important. And that is the root of this, right? Like, that is why we're getting paid. That is like, we're serving people, we're helping people. Like, you keep your eyes on your customers at all times and love on them. Your builders and sharers most likely will come from your customers. I mean, this has been my journey, and I see this on my team. And so I'm loving on my customers, and I'm making it very known to the world during this process of what I'm doing, right? Everybody knows. I announced it. And I know Heather did too. Like, we made it a point to make sure people knew our goals and what we were going for, which, yes, was a little bit scary to put it out there. It was like, okay, this is a really big goal, and I'm going to just put it out there and tell people what I'm doing, but I'm going to tell people why I'm doing it. And I had a very deep, deep, deep reason and purpose why this meant a lot to me. And so I was kind of nervous to share that. But as soon as I did, God kept opening other doors. And it was like, people needed to hear that. And this community rose up. And so my builders and sharers were coming in this process. And so we developed a really, really cool team through this. And Diamond Club is coming up. Guys, my upline did Diamond Club, and we utilized every single resource. And that really was fantastic for like the schedule and the consistency in teaching and showing up and following up. So Diamond Club is coming up. I really hope every single person on this call, if you're qualified or able to do it, you are doing it. And if someone in your upline is doing it, you guys better link arms and like skip down that yellow brick road, because that couldn't be at more of a perfect time to get you kickstarted and get those points racking up. And if you're just starting, you'll get the most amount of points the quickest because you have the most amount of ranks to grow. Okay, I didn't really answer your question, did I? I went on a crazy rampage.
I love that. That was so good. But let's go back to this question, and maybe Heather, you can finish out our live today by telling people what the day-to-day looks like. What are the things you do every day that get you towards Founders?
So my answer actually piggybacks off what Karissa was saying anyway. I think, when you are Founders is about growing leaders and not just yourself. So yeah, it is a team effort and you can't do it alone. So, I mean, I spent a lot of time pouring into my leaders on top of doing all the other things of building relationships and like doing all those things I feel like most people at like all ranks are familiar with. But in terms of growing leaders, even if you guys are you're not even in a leadership rank yet, I think you've got to let your vision ignite that in you and just kind of actively step into leadership. Nobody really falls into leadership even. I mean, because technically you could have people underneath you blow up and you could rank up, but are you really a leader just because of that like title? So I think you need to actively step into leadership. And so for me, what took up a lot of my time was honestly pouring into my leaders. We would have group calls. I would group up. This was one of the things I did to kind of save time was I would group up. Like I'd maybe have 3 leaders that were very much in the same boat, talking about the same things. And I'm like, let's all get together. I'd bring my frontline on a call. We'd have big team calls. I'd have one-on-ones with them, and I really poured into them. And like Karissa was saying, our conversation was Founders. Like it was the heart of it. Sometimes it was logistics, and like we would come up with like, okay, you get those points for enrollment and 2 months of LRP. What exact things are they going to get by enrolling with you specifically? So we'd go over logistics, but honestly, oh my gosh, you need to make your vision contagious. And that is going to fill your calendar. I know that sounds kind of like vague, and I wish we had more time to really dive into it.
There's so much. There's so many elements to this, right? But yeah.
Yeah, no. So I just think when people will come alongside you along the business, when you just share it out and just who is meant to come with you is going to come with you. And even customers will be attracted to that and be like, I love what you're doing. And I'd also like you to help me with my health.
And I think something similar is what we both did is we made a lot of sacrifices. We weren't going to a lot of social events and things. And because everybody knew what we were going for and our goals and why it was so important, everybody respected that and loved that. And so we put in a lot of work and a lot of time to achieve this that fast. And so just know, yes, everything is possible. That comment just popped up by Tara. Absolutely. Everything is possible.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Oh my gosh, Heather and Karissa. It's so fun to know you and to watch your journey because it is very inspiring. And I think that everyone on today got a taste of what it's like to be around someone who has a vision and a purpose and a mission that is so powerful and so driving that you don't stop. And you share that with everyone. And I think you said the right word. It's contagious. People want to be around your energy and follow what you're doing. And I cannot wait until both of you have team members that also join Founders Club. Yay! I know it will happen because as you go for Founders, your team will go for Founders too. So Thanks, ladies, for joining us. Thanks, everyone, for being on. Feel free to drop any questions in the comments, and maybe Karissa and Heather will be able to jump into the comments as well and share a little bit more.
Yep. Awesome.
See you guys.
Thank you, Sarah Marie.
Bye, guys.
Bye.